And they have false gods. Here is Oholibamah, bear Jeush and Jalem and Korah. That name, Korah and his sons. Woo! Woo! These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. Okay? These are all this other side. People who are going to be giving Israel a big problem. And they're going to be giving Israel a big problem because of their false god worship or trying to take over, land or whatever, And they become dukes. Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, Duke Amalek, I won't go deep into that. And when the time comes, I'll be mentioning these are the people of Esau's family, and they all worship the strange gods, the gods of Egypt, and so forth. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people at this time are now worshiping these gods of these people over here. Because you're either worshiping the God of Abraham, our father, or you're worshiping the gods that they made over there by way of Egypt. And also, as other cultures and countries are coming into the world, whatever, they also know about this God business. They heard about a God and they made up their own gods. In various countries and whatever. They made up their own gods for their people and so forth. But all of them are made up. They are not the God of Abraham who made all. And the God you're going to have to deal with when you die. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. And while they're all making their own weird gods and weird religions and weird ways to practice and weird ways to worship, some of them are intermingling and this, that, whatever, to certain things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And which is going to lead a lot of it to us today and the way we worship today. One of the reasons why I make my videos, this is one of the reasons why, so that you know who the God of Abraham is and his son Yeshua Jesus. Real quickly, I would teach my school, when I was a school teacher, I would teach my children about all of this. But I'm hoping that they're watching my videos because when they were little, they were only 8 years old, third grade. But like I told you on those videos, we were tough. Couldn't nobody beat them. They were too tough. My students were rough. Let me tell you how rough, real quickly. I shouldn't be going off on this, but real quickly to show you how my students were in the Bible. Here we are deep in the Bible, and we were talking about Adam and Eve and all that, and the tree of life, and the two trees in the garden and all that. And I'll never forget one of my boys. His name was Kamar. The most wisest little kid back in those days. He's a grown man now. But he was so wise, he said in the middle of one of our religion classes, he said, Mr. Thomas? He said, Mr. Thomas, it was kind of good that Adam and Eve ate from that tree. The whole class turned around and locked in on him. And I said, well, why do you say that, Kamar? He said, because you figure sooner or later, somebody was going to mess around with that tree. Sooner or later, and knowing how people are, we're talking 8 years old, talking like this. Sooner or later, somebody was going to mess around with that tree. You know what I mean? So, it was good that they did that because that would have changed history. And I said, you know what, Kamar, you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? And then we had a class discussion on that. 8 years old, third grade. I love them. So I still love them to this very day. I always love them. They're almost like my daughter and my that's a teacher thing. All teachers understand what I'm talking about. But the point I'm making here is that yeah. And there's a statement in the Bible. Well, I hope I can find it in this Bible. There's a statement that it is so key for almost every generation on this earth, especially black folk in America. Oh, I could use this statement big time for us. When one particular cool pharaoh or cool king died, and a bad king or bad pharaoh took over, and they did not, and the children of Israel or whoever, the people of that time, they didn't. No, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. A new generation took over, and they didn't know all the things of that old stuff. They had their own way of doing things. They didn't know the ways of the old way of doing things, and how important it was, how serious it was, how all the things that are involved, the discipline, all the different things that were involved, whatever it was, be it worshiping God or whatever it was. A new generation took over, and they didn't know. And in this case, in the biblical case, you're going to be hearing me say this coming up very soon about the next big story coming up, or the story after the next big story, about the good Pharaoh died, an evil Pharaoh took over, and the children of Israel didn't know what happened with the stuff that you know now, with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They didn't know all that, so they went their own way. All right. And I'm saying all of this because this is, again, we're talking about Esau and Esau and all of his generations. And new generations are going to come on the scene, and they're going to be completely different. And they're going to have weird God worshipings and this, that, and the other. And that all leads us to today. That leads us to today. You know what I mean? Certain stories that were told with each other, and certain other religions that they kind of borrow a little bit from there and borrow a little bit from that, whatever, this, that, and the other. And now they've got their own way of doing things. And all that way needs to do is take hold and becomes, become a way of being. You know what I mean? And there you go. Now that they're thinking that's the way it was, always been that way, not even realizing it was never that way. Y'all made it up as you went. But now they're thinking this is the way it's been, always been, so forth. Okay, so we're going to see a lot of that coming up. We're going to see the results of that and the problems that will bring coming up soon. We are now, after all that sidebar, we're here at chapter 37. Okay. Jacob dwelled in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And then it goes into Jacob's generation. Jacob, Joseph, these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding his flock. Oh, whoa. What's happening here is the next story is about to happen. Now, Jacob has 12 sons. 2 of those sons, the last 2, are the sons of his real wife, Rachel, that he loved. Remember, she couldn't have any children. So she had children with her sister Leah, Leah's handmaid, Bilhah's handmaid, and all these different women had 10 sons. And then the Lord heard Rachel and opened her womb, and she had 2 sons. And this would be of Jacob's, the wife he spent them 26 years working for because he loved her so much. They had their own 2 sons. Joseph would be the first, and she died having the second one, Benjamin. The story now goes into Joseph. Okay? These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. The lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah. Okay, the different brothers were with, and their mothers and their wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. So in other words, he was the younger brother, and he would go, because remember, if you remember the story, They were full grown because she had Joseph late and had been the Lord heard her voice and allowed her to have a child. But the brothers they're already in their 20s now. They're already grown up. They're grown, you know what I mean? So he was like a young kid, like, you know what I mean? He was 17. And they were all probably coming to their 30s now. Maybe even more, a lot older. Anyway, they resented him. They didn't like him. They were jealous of him. And then, of course, the dad made Jacob, he loved his two sons. Just like Abraham loved Isaac. You know what I mean? Ishmael was cool, but him and Sarah had their real son, Isaac, and he loved him. And of course, Isaac had, had Jacob, Esau and Jacob. And he loved Jacob. No, he loved Isaac, and Rebekah loved Jacob. But anyway, here, Jacob loved his sons Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph in particular. But wait till this is such a juicy story. Sit back. All right, so Joseph, but the brothers were jealous of him. And they didn't like him all that much. And everything he did, they found reasons to dislike him even more. And then dad makes him this beautiful coat of many colors. Oh, they don't like him at all. They're so jealous of him. All right. And then he would go and check on them. Dad, Jacob, would send him out to go check on them to make sure they're doing things. And he'd come back and tell them they're out there playing around and they're not doing seriously. And they'd give an evil report. So that made them really dislike Joseph all the more. All right. Oh, here it is. Verse 3. Now, Israel, Jacob, and his name is no longer Jacob, but his name is Israel. So in some cases, I'll call him Jacob. In some cases, I'll call him Israel. Now, Israel, same person. Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. See, that's the whole point. That I should teach this Bible so that you should know it. And the day is coming. I'm hoping that you'll be able to teach this to somebody or tell somebody. And everything come out of your mouth is going to be on point right regarding the Holy Bible. That's the whole point here. I want you to be able to do the same thing I just did. I'm telling you all this stuff. And then we read it. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. All right. And there's more. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Okay. And then Joseph dreamed a dream and he told his brethren and they hated him even more. Here goes the dream. And he said unto them, hey, here, I pray thee, this dream which I have dreamed. Tell me what you think. For behold, I was binding sheaves in the field. Oh, by the way, remember the dreams. Remember this dream. You'll understand later. Behold, I was binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf rose above and stood upright. And behold, all y'all sheaves stood around and kind of bowed down to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, oh, shall thou indeed reign over us? Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Okay, and then he dreamed another dream. And he told it to his brethren and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and the stars, 11 stars, bowed down unto me. 11 stars in the sky. Sand on the sea, stars in the sky. Remember that. From Abraham. And he told it to his father, Jacob, and to his brethren. And Jacob rebuked him. Man, get out of here with all that. And said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall me and your mother and your brethren indeed come and bow down ourselves unto the earth unto thee? And his brother envied him, but Jacob was like, observing the saying. Okay. Well, his brother went on to feed their flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, isn't your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said, okay, here am I. And he said, go, I pray thee, and see whether it be well with thy brethren and with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. Go check on your brothers and see, make sure they know what they're supposed to be doing. In other words. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, Joseph. And the man asked, what are you doing? Where are you going? And Joseph said, I'm looking for my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, oh, they departed hence, for I heard them say that they were heading towards Dothan. And Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. And when he came unto him and when they saw him coming afar off, even before they came near unto him, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer comes. Come on, y'all. Therefore, let us kill him and cast him into some pit, and we will say that some evil beasts have devoured him. And we shall see what will happen of his dreams. Now, this is dragged because the old Bibles say who said that. One of the brothers said that, and it's very important because it's of things that's going to happen later, but it doesn't say it here. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. Shed no blood, but we can cast him down into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might get rid of out of their hands to deliver him unto his father again. So they put him down in a well. And it came to pass that Joseph was, when he came to his brethren, they grabbed and pulled a coat off of him, and his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him and cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. In other words, it was a well. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes, and looked, behold, a company of Ishmaelites. Listen to what I'm about to say here. Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices and balm and myrrh, going to carry them down to the feast in Egypt. They're going to some sort of worship, some sort of celebration in Egypt. Okay, Ishmaelites. Okay, and Judah said unto them, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal and hide his blood? Come on, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and let not our hand not be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brother agreed. And they passed by the Midianites, the merchantmen, and drew near to lift Joseph up out of the pit. And they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned into the pit, and when Reuben came back, he's like, came back to the pit, and he took and rent his clothes, and returned to, and his brother said, where's the child? Where is him? Where did he go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a goat, and dipped it in blood, and they sent the coat of many colors and brought it to their father and said, this we have found. Do you know who owns this coat? Is this your son's coat? And he knew it. And he said, is it my son's coat? And evil beasts have devoured him? Joseph was without doubt rent into pieces. And Jacob was so upset, he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many, many days. And all of his sons and all of his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I go down to the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold into Egypt unto Potiphar. They sold Joseph. They went into Egypt and sold Joseph to a man named Potiphar, and the officers and the captain of the guard. Okay, so So we'll be coming back to, I'll come back to explain all this to you in 1 minute, okay? Oh, and this, again, we have so many wonderful stories to go. So take care, and I'll see you in a minute. We'll be right back.